saw my ADD-addled self was over here typing away. I try to take advantage of every last second to attack the organized left. And right now, I'm hyper-focusing. It's what people with ADD do. When we're not all over the place, we're hyper-focusing, and I'm hyper-focusing on taking down the organized left. They've had too much free reign in our country for the last 40 years, and over the last 3 years they thought they had the final chess piece to run rampant. And thank God we, the people, the Tea Party, stood up and said, "Over our dead bodies." So, to tell you where we are with all that, they don't know what hit them, because this was the community organizer president. That was the one thing on his resume. Acorn. Well, he's also SEIU purple, too, if you've ever seen that video. And they didn't expect that the good and decent people of Middle America would read between the lines that progressivism is socialism, that this was the last push of your Berkeley professors. No offense, Richard. Please take offense. What a vile group of individuals those professors are, except those professors, the 1 in 800 that are on our side. Oh, they're not totalitarians. They don't keep people out who have a conservative approach. Well, anyway, we stood up, and we figured out how to community organize back. In fact, Obama's pal, Van Jones, a community organizer from this neck of the woods, and the mainstream media, I said I'd talk about the mainstream media. It's interesting that he's from here. He was the green energy czar, and has anybody seen the article about Van Jones and Solyndra? I'm sure that there's no connection. I'd travel over to Reno right now to bet money. The government's money, of course. That he's intimately involved with it. We've taken on the community organizers. The first thing that we did was take on Acorn. And that was Hannah and James. And the left, when they came to me, I said to them, "You don't understand." They were 25 and 20 at the time. I said, "You don't understand. If we move forward on this endeavor to take these astonishing videos and move them forward, they're going to isolate you for destruction, and me too, for the rest of our lives, to make us examples for any other smart aleck that would ever get the idea to stand up to these Alinskyeites and to these thugs and to these totalitarians." I don't know if you've been paying attention, but they've been targeting us with lawsuits, and they've been targeting us with verbal intimidation. They've been taunting us with death threats. They have an entire arsenal to try and marginalize. My favorite is the selectively edited one. Both James and I are selective editors, versus that show called 60 Minutes, which they might as well just call raw footage, because it just goes on and on and on and on. They wouldn't think of hiring editors to truncate time so that we could see the essence of a story. But they say it over and over and over and over, so that the mainstream media will say, "Well, we can't take those people serious because they selectively edit video." I said, isn't it interesting that the first thing that I said to James O'Keefe when I saw the videos was, "They're going to claim you're taking it out of context." So I said to him, we need to put the full transcripts and the full audio up there when you put up your truncated videos, so that people can see that you're not taking things out of context. That's why Acorn went down, because it happened so quickly that they couldn't recover. They knew that they couldn't say it was selectively edited at the very beginning, because the people who were judging them, the Congress, would say, "Breitbart, where's the rest of where are the videos?" I'm like, there's the transcripts, there's the audio, and I said to ABC, CBS, and NBC, if you want the full videos or Congress, here they are. But 6 months later, I guarantee if you type in Google the Acorn videos, you will say that they've been debunked, that they were a fraud, that they were a hoax. That is because the left-wing propagandists, aided and abetted by the mainstream media, who were also targeted in the Acorn story, we targeted them. We told them at the time, this isn't traditional journalism. This is media warfare against the Democrat media complex, the natural alliance of the Democratic Party, the mainstream media, and liberal interest groups. You're not going to look at these videos. You're going to take Acorn's side. So we know you're going to take Acorn's side, so we're not going to tell you how many videos there are. If we lived in a Walter Cronkite utopia that didn't exist when Walter Cronkite, the commie, was killing the Vietnam War, the Tet Offensive, was a loss because of Uncle Walter. So we knew that we had to aim this story not at Acorn. Boy, the videos spoke for themselves. We aimed it at Katie Couric. We aimed it at ABC News. We aimed it at NBC News. And by the time that Congress defunded it, the anchor at ABC News, Charlie Gibson, said, of why didn't you cover this story? He said, I kid you not, I didn't know it was happening. I was sailing up in Maine. And these people aren't... If I were David Mamet, I could not have written stronger, more potent words to condemn and indict the mainstream media. In fact, the first weekend of this, I was confronted by the Washington Post by a very frantic reporter by the name of Carol Leanig. And she said, you could tell she didn't want to have to cover this story, but because Congress had acted so quickly and the White House was forced, the White House, by that I mean Obama, he was forced to disconnect Acorn from the Treasury from doing the census. And that's when we realized, holy crap, we've hit pay dirt. That was on Friday night. And over the weekend, the mainstream media had to react to the fact that there was already a real-world repercussion. And then on Saturday, the 9/12 of '09, we did this. We started it on 9/10. Why did we put two videos out on the 10th and the 11th? Because we knew on 9/12 there would be 1 million or so people in Washington, and a third of the signs out there were about Acorn. We community organized this Acorn project to shove it into the mainstream media's face to deal with a counter-narrative that they couldn't handle. And what was that counter-narrative? Let's go back to Carol Leanig of the Washington Post, who frantically interviewed me. What did you think when you saw the first video, Andrew? I said I thought it was pretty extraordinary. These people were helping aid and abet an underage pimp and prostitution operation, and when Hannah and James got service with a smile so quickly, James brilliantly kept trying to step it up to see, is there anything that I could add to this to cause them to go, maybe we have a moral, ethical, or legal problem here. So he started to say, well, problem is, it's not just that they're prostitutes, they're prostitutes who are underage. No problem. Yeah, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. They're from El Salvador, they're illegal. Don't worry about that. There's no problem. And the idea when I saw this, that I was going to shove this like dog poop in Katie Couric's nose, I'm like, oh, this is so fun.